Picture this. 3 weeks ago, she vanished without explanation. You were having great conversations, maybe even went on a few dates, and everything seemed to be going well. Then suddenly, radio silence. No texts, no calls, no responses to your messages. You went through the emotional roller coaster, confusion, frustration, maybe even some self-doubt about what you did wrong. But you handled it correctly. You didn't chase. You didn't blow up her phone with desperate messages. You moved on with your life, focused on your goals, and started to forget about her entirely. Then, out of nowhere, she reappears. A casual text pops up on your phone. "Hey, how have you been?" Acting like absolutely nothing happened. No acknowledgement of the disappearance, no explanation, no apology. Just sliding back into your life as if the last 3 weeks of silence never occurred. This moment is crucial. How you respond will determine whether you regain respect and potentially salvage something worthwhile, or whether you fall back into the same pattern that led to her disappearing in the first place. Most men fail this test spectacularly because they don't understand the psychology behind her return or how to leverage it strategically. What if I told you that her return isn't necessarily good news? What if I told you that how she comes back reveals everything you need to know about her character and intentions? And what if I told you that your response to her return will either establish you as a high-value man worthy of respect, or confirm you as an easy option she can manipulate whenever convenient? Today, I'm going to break down exactly how to handle the situation when a woman comes back acting like nothing happened. You'll understand why she disappeared, why she's returning now, and most importantly, how to respond in a way that either commands respect or definitively closes the door on someone who isn't worth your time. Pay attention, because this is one of the most important tests of your masculine frame and self-respect you'll ever face. Before we discuss how to respond, you need to understand exactly why she's coming back and what her casual approach reveals about her mindset. The primary reason women return after disappearing is validation deficit. While she was away, she wasn't getting the attention and validation she needed from other sources. Maybe the guy she left you for didn't work out. Maybe her other options dried up. Maybe she's going through a period where she needs an ego boost and remembers that you provided reliable attention. Her casual approach, acting like nothing happened, is a test to see if you're still available as a validation source. She's checking whether you'll welcome her back without requiring accountability or explanation. This tells her whether you're desperate enough to accept poor treatment, which would confirm you as a low-value backup option. Her return is also a power play designed to establish dominance in any future interactions. By acting like nothing happened, she's attempting to control the narrative and avoid taking responsibility for her behaviour. She wants to see if she can train you to accept her disappearing and reappearing without consequence. If you respond positively to her casual return, you're essentially giving her permission to treat you this way in the future. You're communicating that your time and emotional investment don't require respect or consideration. Women often maintain what psychologists call backup relationships, men they keep in rotation for when their primary options aren't available. Her casual return could indicate that you've been categorized as a backup option that she's now activating because her primary choices aren't working out. The way she approaches her return reveals whether she sees you as a person deserving respect or as a utility she can access when convenient. Acting like nothing happened suggests the latter. Her return also provides crucial information about how much she valued the connection you had. If she truly valued your relationship, her return would include acknowledgement of her absence and some effort to repair any damage caused by her disappearance. The fact that she's acting casual suggests that she either didn't value what you had enough to protect it, or she assumes you didn't value it enough to require an explanation. Both interpretations reveal important information about her character and intentions. Most men fall into predictable emotional traps when a woman returns after disappearing. Understanding these traps helps you avoid them. Many men feel immediate relief when she returns because her disappearance triggered abandonment anxiety. They're so happy she's back that they ignore the disrespectful way she's handling her return. This relief blinds them to the fact that her behavior reveals fundamental character issues. This emotional response often leads to over-eagerness in welcoming her back, which immediately destroys any leverage you might have had and confirms you as someone who doesn't require respectful treatment. Her casual return creates intense curiosity about where she's been and why she disappeared. Most men become so focused on getting answers that they engage enthusiastically, hoping to satisfy their curiosity through conversation. This curiosity-driven engagement gives her exactly what she's looking for, your attention and investment, without requiring her to provide the accountability and explanation that respectful treatment would demand. Some men interpret her return as validation of their worth, proof that she realized she made a mistake and came back because she missed them. This ego gratification makes them feel special and chosen, leading to immediate positive responses. This interpretation usually misreads the situation entirely. Her return likely has nothing to do with your value and everything to do with her current circumstances and need for attention. Her return often reactivates hope about the potential relationship. Men who had started to move on suddenly find themselves hoping that this time will be different, that her return indicates genuine interest, and that they can finally develop something meaningful. This hope makes them vulnerable to accepting poor treatment, because they are invested in a fantasy outcome rather than responding to the reality of her disrespectful behaviour. Your first strategic decision is whether to require acknowledgement of her disappearance before engaging with her casual return. High-value men require accountability from people who want access to their time and attention. When someone disappears without explanation and returns acting casual, the appropriate response is requiring acknowledgement of what happened before moving forward. This doesn't mean being angry or emotional about her absence. It means calmly expecting basic courtesy and respect from people who want to be in your life. A simple, "I notice you disappeared for a while without explanation. What happened?" establishes that you noticed her absence and won't pretend it didn't occur. Requiring acknowledgement establishes a baseline of respect for future interactions. It communicates that your time and emotional investment deserve consideration, and that people can't simply vanish and return without some level of accountability. If she's unwilling or unable to provide basic acknowledgement of her behaviour, you've learned everything you need to know about her character and can respond accordingly. How she responds to your requirement for acknowledgement reveals her character and intentions immediately. A person with integrity will acknowledge her absence and provide some explanation. Someone who doubles down on the casual approach or gets defensive about being asked for accountability is revealing that she doesn't respect you enough to take responsibility for her behaviour. By requiring acknowledgement, you're establishing a boundary about how people can treat you and return to your life. This boundary protects you from accepting poor treatment and teaches others that accessing your time and attention requires basic respect and courtesy. Before we continue exploring these crucial response strategies, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. I'm revealing the psychology behind women's disappearing and returning behaviour, and how to respond in ways that command respect rather than enable disrespectful treatment. Your support helps me continue sharing these insights that could transform how you handle these challenging situations. One of the most powerful responses to her casual return is implementing a delayed response protocol that mirrors her previous behaviour. When she disappeared, she demonstrated that immediate responses aren't important to her. When she returns acting casual, you can mirror this energy by not responding immediately or enthusiastically. This shows that you absorb the lesson her behaviour taught about the value of timing and availability. A delayed response, whether hours, days, or longer, communicates that you have a life that doesn't revolve around her schedule and that her convenience isn't your priority. Your response timing communicates your priorities. Immediate responses suggest that hearing from her is a priority that interrupts whatever else you're doing. Delayed responses suggest that her contact is something you'll address when convenient for your schedule. This timing adjustment often creates anxiety in women who are used to getting immediate attention because it signals that you're not sitting around waiting for their contact. Delayed responses demonstrate value by showing that your time is occupied with meaningful activities. When you don't respond immediately, it implies that you have better things to do than instantly engage with someone who previously showed disrespect for your time. This demonstration often makes them more interested because it contradicts their assumption that you'd be eagerly waiting for their return. Taking time to respond allows you to regulate your emotions and craft a thoughtful response, rather than reacting from excitement, curiosity, or relief. This emotional regulation ensures that your response comes from a position of strength rather than emotional vulnerability. Immediate responses often reveal too much eagerness or investment, while delayed responses allow you to maintain composure and strategic thinking. Sometimes the most powerful response is matching her casual energy with equally casual disinterest. If she's being casual about her return, you can be equally casual about your response. This might mean responding with brief, polite but unengaged messages that don't invite extended conversation, or express excitement about her return. This energy matching prevents her from having the satisfaction of knowing she can disappear and return to eager attention whenever convenient. Casual dismissal involves withdrawing your investment to match hers. If she's not investing effort in explaining her absence or showing genuine interest in reconnecting, you don't invest effort in welcoming her back or trying to rebuild what was interrupted. This investment withdrawal forces her to increase her effort if she wants meaningful engagement, reversing the dynamic where you were investing more than she was. Her casual return reveals that she sees you as an option rather than a priority. Casual dismissal reclassifies her the same way, as someone you might engage with if convenient, but not someone you're prioritizing or pursuing. This reclassification protects your emotional investment while leaving the door open for her to demonstrate higher levels of interest and respect if she chooses. Casual dismissal requires genuine outcome independence, being truly okay with whether she stays interested or disappears again. This indifference is often attractive because it's rare and suggests that you have abundant options. For men who prefer direct communication, confronting her behavior head-on can be an effective approach. Direct confrontation involves calmly calling out her behavior. You disappeared for 3 weeks without explanation, and now you're acting like nothing happened. That's not how I operate with people I respect. This approach makes her disrespectful behavior explicit and forces her to either acknowledge it or reveal that she's not capable of taking accountability. Direct confrontation allows you to communicate your standards clearly. I don't maintain connections with people who vanish without explanation. If you want to reconnect, I need to understand what happened and why you think it's okay to return acting casual. This standard communication gives her a chance to meet your requirements while making it clear that her current approach isn't acceptable. Direct confrontation lets you establish clear consequences. If you're not willing to acknowledge your behavior, then we don't have anything to discuss. I don't engage with people who don't respect my time. These consequences give her a clear choice between meeting your standards or losing access to your attention entirely. This approach demands respect explicitly, rather than hoping she'll infer it from your behavior. Some women need direct communication to understand that their behavior is unacceptable and that you have standards they must meet. Sometimes the most powerful response is no response at all. Completely ignoring her return sends a clear message that her behavior was so disrespectful that she no longer warrants your attention. This silence communicates that disappearing has consequences and that casual returns aren't sufficient to regain your interest. Silence is often more powerful than words because it forces her to confront the possibility that she's lost your attention permanently. Ignoring her protects your value by refusing to reward disrespectful behavior with attention. When you ignore her return, you're communicating that your attention isn't freely available to people who don't treat you with respect. This protection maintains your standards and prevents her from learning that she can disappear and return without consequence. If she's used to getting responses from men regardless of how poorly she behaves, your silence disrupts that pattern and forces her to question her approach. This disruption can be more impactful than any verbal response. Ignoring her preserves your emotional and mental investment for people who demonstrate consistent respect and interest. Rather than spending energy on someone who has already shown poor character, you maintain that energy for better opportunities. If you choose to engage, you can use her return as an opportunity to extract valuable information about her character and motivations. Instead of expressing excitement about her return, ask strategic questions. What made you decide to reach out now? Or, how do you typically handle communication when you're busy? These questions force her to reveal information about her thought process and behavior patterns. Use her responses to identify patterns in how she treats people and handles relationships. Her explanations, or lack thereof, reveal whether this disappearing behavior is typical for her and whether she takes responsibility for its impact on others. The information you gather helps predict how she'll behave in future situations. If she can't acknowledge her behavior or provide reasonable explanations, you can predict that similar incidents will occur if you continue engaging with her. Use the information to make informed decisions about whether she's worth your continued time and energy. Her responses reveal whether she has the maturity and respect necessary for any kind of meaningful connection. Her return and how she handles it provides a comprehensive character assessment that informs your decision-making. Does she acknowledge her disappearance and take responsibility for how it might have affected you? Her willingness to be accountable reveals maturity and respect for others. How does she explain her absence? Is she honest and direct, or does she make excuses and minimize her behavior? Her communication style reveals whether she's capable of mature relationship dynamics. Does she show respect for your time and feelings, or does she continue to act as if her convenience is the only consideration? Her respect level indicates whether she sees you as a person or a utility. What effort does she put into repairing any damage caused by her disappearance? Her effort level reveals how much she values the connection and whether she's willing to invest in maintaining it. Each response strategy serves different purposes and suits different situations and personality types. Use this approach when you're genuinely open to reconnecting if she demonstrates appropriate accountability and respect. This gives her a chance to redeem herself while maintaining your standards. This works well when you want to maintain some connection while rebalancing the power dynamic. It's particularly effective with women who are used to immediate attention and need to learn that your availability isn't guaranteed. This approach works when you want to keep options open without investing emotional energy. It's effective for maintaining casual connections while preventing deeper involvement with someone who has shown poor character. Use this when you prefer clear communication and want to give her an explicit opportunity to acknowledge her behavior and meet your standards. This works well with people who respond to direct feedback. This is appropriate when her behavior was so disrespectful that you've decided she doesn't deserve access to your attention, regardless of how she approaches her return. This works when you're curious about her motivations and want to learn more about her character before deciding how to proceed. It's useful for making informed decisions about future engagement. How you handle her return sets precedents for all future interactions and reveals important information about relationship compatibility. Your response teaches her what behavior you'll accept and what consequences exist for disrespectful treatment. If you reward her casual return with enthusiasm, you're training her to treat you casually in the future. Relationships require mutual respect to function successfully. If she can't provide basic respect through acknowledging her disappearance, she's revealing that she's not capable of the respect necessary for a healthy relationship. How she handles this situation reveals her communication capabilities. If she can't communicate about her absence maturely, she likely can't communicate about other relationship challenges effectively. Her disappearance and casual return reveal information about her reliability and consistency. These traits are crucial for any serious relationship, and her behavior provides early warning about potential future problems. Throughout this situation, maintaining your self-respect is more important than any specific outcome with her. Your standards for how people treat you shouldn't change based on how much you like someone or how attractive they are. Maintaining consistent standards protects your self-respect and attracts people who are capable of meeting those standards. Your time, attention, and emotional energy are valuable resources that should be invested in people who demonstrate reciprocal respect and interest. Protecting these resources maintains your value and prevents waste on unworthy recipients. How you handle her return reflects your self-respect and dignity. Responses that compromise your dignity for the sake of maintaining her interest ultimately damage your attractiveness and self-worth. The way you handle this situation affects how you feel about yourself and influences your confidence in future relationships. Maintaining your self-respect creates positive momentum for future interactions and relationships. The key to handling her return successfully is genuine outcome independence, being truly okay with whatever happens. Outcome independence requires releasing attachment to specific results with her. Whether she stays interested, disappears again, or meets your standards shouldn't significantly affect your emotional state or self-worth. True outcome independence comes from knowing that you have abundant opportunities for connection with people who will treat you with respect. Her behavior doesn't represent your only chance for romantic connection. Outcome independence requires being emotionally self-sufficient rather than depending on her attention or approval for your happiness and confidence. Your well-being shouldn't be contingent on how she responds to your boundaries and standards. When you're genuinely outcome independent, you maintain power in the interaction because you're not desperately seeking any particular result. This power allows you to make decisions based on what's best for you rather than what might please her. Her return provides valuable opportunities for personal growth and self-discovery. This situation offers excellent practice in setting and maintaining boundaries. How you handle her return strengthens your ability to enforce standards in all areas of life. Managing your response to her return develops emotional regulation skills that serve you in business, friendships, and future relationships. Learning to respond strategically rather than emotionally is valuable across all life domains. Learning to quickly assess someone's character based on their behavior helps you make better decisions about who deserves your time and energy in all types of relationships. Your response reveals information about your own values, standards, and areas for continued growth. Use this situation to better understand what you require from relationships and why those requirements matter. Here's the ultimate truth about how to react when she comes back like nothing happened. Your response should prioritize your self-respect and long-term well-being over any short-term relationship outcome. The way she handles her return tells you everything you need to know about her character, maturity, and ability to participate in respectful relationships. Your response determines whether you maintain your standards and dignity or compromise them for someone who has already demonstrated that she doesn't respect your time and feelings. Her casual return is a character test, not necessarily good news. Your response sets precedents for all future interactions. Maintaining standards is more important than maintaining her interest. Outcome: independence allows you to respond from strength rather than desperation. The situation provides valuable growth opportunities regardless of the outcome. Grateful for her return to evaluating whether she deserves access, eager to reconnect to requiring accountability first, hoping she's changed to assessing her current character, fearing loss to embracing abundance. It's about maintaining self-respect and creating relationships based on mutual consideration rather than one-sided accommodation. You attract people who are capable of respectful behavior. You maintain your dignity regardless of the outcome. You create positive precedents for future relationships. You demonstrate value that makes you more attractive to high-quality people. You avoid wasting time on people who don't respect you. If this analysis has shown you how to maintain your self-respect when women return after disappearing, smash that like button and subscribe for more content that reveals how to handle challenging relationship dynamics with strength and dignity. Share this with other men who need to understand how to respond to disrespectful behavior without compromising their standards. Your engagement helps me continue exposing these crucial insights that could save you from accepting poor treatment in relationships. Until next time, remember that how people treat you is information about their character, not your worth, and respond accordingly. Remember, the goal isn't to punish her for her behavior or to manipulate her into chasing you. The goal is to maintain your self-respect, enforce reasonable standards for how people treat you, and make decisions that serve your long-term well-being. When you approach her return from this perspective, you'll either develop a connection based on mutual respect or definitively close the door on someone who isn't capable of treating you appropriately. Both outcomes protect your dignity and create positive momentum for your future.